So this morning we are joined by the executive director, Shannon Binns. A long night for you, early morning for you as well. So listen, it strikes me that I think we've learned over the last few months these toll lanes were not very popular at all.
Not at all.
And full disclosure, I live in one of the neighborhoods that would be affected by this. I do feel like there's a middle ground here of people who might be a little turned off and disgusted how this whole happened.
Yeah.
That this has been talked about for 12 years. It's been approved by the same group that denied it last night, was reapproved again a couple of years ago. We got this far down the road, spent all this money, and now we're here, starting from scratch. What do you say to the folks who's like, I didn't really like the toll lanes, but was there not a better alternative to where we are now?
Yeah, well, there are certainly better alternatives to where we are now. But in terms of how we got here and why so much money was wasted, it had a lot to do with the lack of transparency and the lack of partnership with the people who actually live in Charlotte. So I would say it hasn't been worked on in earnest for 12 years. It's been talked about for 12 years. But the work actually began in 2024. And it was in fall of 2024 when Council Member Driggs asked City Council to support exploring a P3 or a privately funded toll road on 77. He assured them there would be multiple opportunities for them to weigh in the future as details emerged. And if they just didn't like the way the project was going, they'd be able to cancel the project. Unfortunately, those opportunities never came. And it wasn't until November of 2025 that we first saw maps of where actually this road would go and all the harms it would do to existing neighborhoods that have been here for generations. And at that point, when neighbors said, wait a second, this isn't what we want, we were told it's too late and that things had already been decided. So it's that lack of transparency, lack of sharing information for people to actually respond to that got us into this mess. And I do think taxpayers should be very upset with NCDOT, with elected officials who did not involve them early on and did not disclose information. Because yes, this project has spent or cost $60 million in tax dollars so far.
Yeah, you also have been a strong advocate, pushing back on this project, saying that this is not the right path to go. Last night, you pushed very hard to get CRTPO to put this on the agenda. It was not even supposed to be voted on. Why the push to have this done last night?
Well, because we know there are powerful special interests, including our local business alliance, who are lobbying our elected officials very hard to change their vote, City Council specifically. And City Council narrowly passed the motion to rescind their support. It was 6-5 last week. So we know there's an effort underway by Council Member Driggs, he has said this publicly, to flip the vote of a council member and reverse the action they took last week. So we knew that the decision to rescind by City Council was tenuous. And the more time they had, the more likely that they would be able to convince a council member to change their mind.
The DOT came out with new renderings on Monday of this week, and they were met with mixed reaction. Some folks joking online about the performance center on top of I-77 and otherwise. Still, though, it showed some movement towards the direction of folks who wanted to see a slightly more cohesive, thoughtful process. Were you pretty confident after seeing those and other things that there was never going to be a middle ground, that you really going to have to start from scratch?
Yeah. So the problem with those designs is they still included toll lanes.
Yeah.
And the toll lanes in those renderings, if you remember, were elevated over these parks and wider bridges they were proposing. And I don't think anybody wants to hang out on a bridge that has 4 lanes of freeway above it and 6 lanes below it, a freeway sandwich, if you will. So, the problem was NCDOT never was willing to discuss, consider, study anything other than toll lanes. And we know there are far better solutions to building toll lanes to truly relieve congestion. I think the great news for commuters in Charlotte is we are now not stuck into 50 years of high-priced tolls that most people can't afford. We've saved commuters billions of dollars over the next 5 decades by stopping this project in its tracks.
Something that we saw last night is a lot of the northern communities voted to stop this. And you could attribute it to it being what they're seeing right now with toll lanes, this being kind of unaffordable. I know 2 days ago when I drove up there, it was $7 just to go and exit.
Yep.
For you guys, what do you want to see happen next? Since you don't want toll lanes, what is the vision? What are the next couple weeks, months, years? What would you like to see happen?
We'd like to see Charlotte really catch up with the rest of the country and do what those cities are doing, and cities around the world, which if you think about it, if you go to any large city in America or around the world, they have fast, efficient, safe, reliable public transit, mass transit. We have to move people more efficiently. You cannot grow at 160 people per day and have all of those people getting into a single occupancy vehicle. That's the problem we have in Charlotte, is we think that if we just make the roads bigger, we'll somehow solve congestion. No city has ever had success trying to widen their way out of congestion. The cities that have reduced congestion have invested in more efficient ways to move people in the same space, and that's mass transit, that's trains, that's bus rapid transit. We need a partnership with 77 to repurpose some of the land that 77 already occupies to move people more efficiently.
Would you say that now this is going to be a longer process, but I know you would argue a better process?
Yeah, I mean, what we're proposing, converting an existing lane or using even the shoulder, as many cities have done, for an express bus service that comes every 10 minutes and takes you all the way downtown from the suburbs, could be done with relatively little cost and relatively little planning. This could be done very quickly. If we wanted to, it could be done within months, right? So unlike building infrastructure like pavement, adding lanes, that's very costly, takes lots of engineering, lots of planning. But all we need to do, again, what other cities have done, is repurpose the road space that we already have. We haven't done that on 77, so everyone has one choice to get down 77. That's essentially in traffic, in a car, or in a bus. But if we give the bus its own lane, or even carpoolers, all of them, a high occupancy vehicle as we call it, its own lane, it will travel freely without being stuck in traffic. And that will make it attractive to a lot of people who are commuting every day from the suburbs of South Charlotte and South Carolina into Uptown. But we haven't provided them that option yet.
All right. Shannon Binns, a big 24 hours for you or your organization and for a lot of other people. We appreciate you making time
Thank you
for this morning.